to last call.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome to
The Mac Knows Worst with your host, Tyler McAnally.
You think I'm going out like Jesse James? I was like, y'all think I'm gonna shoulder through you and jump off this fifth floor balcony?
Featuring Autumn The Glu.
It's like the Dorothy shoes. Click 3 times, your cousin shows up with a shotgun.
And Black Adam.
First you had my curiosity, now you have my attention.
Get ready to experience The Mac Knows Worst.
Oh man, here we are again. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And then if you're following our social media pages at The Mac Knows Worst, TheMackKnows Worst. If you can't spell that, I feel for you. And then on Twitter, just Mac Knows Worst, no the. Man.
No,
So we have our first guest host on
it's
this little
KhloeKast.
continuation of accidents.
Oh, yeah.
happen.
Autumn, oh shit, motherfucker. Off to a great start. Autumn made this for me.
It's the KhloeKast.
It's the
Ta-da.
it's the rite of passage.
It's the pre-podcast doodle.
About to say you're the first guest we've had. So
Yeah,
Ooh, that's
ever.
exciting. That's scary.
Adam, can we get some applause for that?
Yeah, let's get some applause.
Oh, bless it.
Good times. So we left off talking about accidents, and Tyler, you left off on a mouthful of one.
A mouthful of word vomit that
Yeah.
came from some kind of state. Let me tell you, Montana Summer Church Camp, Dustin, Josh Tate, Rapids, freezing water, tubing, sawgrass. So we
That just sounds like a lot.
I don't even know what just happened.
Yeah,
Half-
I
half of
know.
those
Like I
things
said, it was
sound
some
like
word
they kill
vomit,
you.
But if you saw the rest of these notes, they're all pretty. You can tell they're inspired, but they're definitely not. Yeah, they're not full cohesive thoughts. They're just kind of like ping words, just to a little ping to remember the
words.
story there. Does that sound a little dead?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's a little better.
No, so we used to have this drama group with the church. Parents pastor a church. I think I was in 4th grade at the time, and I wasn't a big kid. And we had this huge, I guess we called it a tour. We had a charter bus rented, but we go up and we're, it's a charter bus. It's a whole bunch of kids. Yeah, we watched Remember the Titans just on. We had VHS
I think everyone
players.
watched.
We watched
that
it so
movie.
much, we started hating it, and then we went from that to Rooster Cogburn and John Wayne movies, and we're all a bunch of kids, and we're like, this is better than Remember that, we fell in love with little Rooster Cogburn.
Hang on a second. So you're saying Remember the Titans was on VHS that you were talking about? How old
Yeah.
are you? Because VHS is a little old.
Well, they had a VHS player in this charter bus. That's, yeah.
I suppose back
Could've
then maybe
been
they were
DVD
making
now.
both.
Because we sure as hell didn't have John Wayne on DVD at that point, I don't think. Yeah.
Either way,
Look, we'll do some background.
We'll have to do
check.
some background on
we'll do
that,
some
yeah.
history checking to
because
get this
I don't
lined up.
remember too many like newer movies made in the
Man,
2000s
let's
on
see.
VHS. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead. Yeah,
Remember the Titans. I mean, it came out in 2000.
yeah. I thought VHSs were phased out by then. Maybe they were making both.
No, bro, the VHS didn't come out until 2001.
Me too.
The VHS for Remember the Titans didn't come out until 2001.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What's he like?
I was born in 95, and I remember watching that movie in like middle school.
well, fuck the
So,
old guys for his memory
yeah.
not being so great.
The final movie produced in VHS was A History of Violence in 2006, but it started to die off in 2003. So that's, lucky there.
Yeah, that
It's
makes
worth a
sense because I think
It's worth a Google.
yeah.
Oh, so we're doing this tour, and we get this, it's a lot of fun stuff at the time, and we're doing all these drama shows in different places, and we're having a blast. And one of the last spots we were at was this camp that we went to once when we lived there. to go sledding. Like there's a camp manager. It's a really nice camp up in the mountains. I mean, it's pretty far removed. You know, it's a ways off. A lot of nice rustic buildings. So we went up there and went sledding and got to the mess hall. It was a fun day. So we're going back like camping, but it's summertime. Obviously, we're kids. We have school, so. It's summertime in Montana, which is fantastic weather. Good God, there's no bugs. It's like 75 degrees. The sun doesn't go down till,
How many people are there, like in Montana, per capita?
Now we're like the mountain snow cap, though? Like in the background?
I guess some of them still are in the background. If you go up high enough, there's always some snow around that way. But no, it's perfect weather. Gorgeous weather, except all of the streams, creeks, rivers, anything is still mountain runoff water. We found that out when we lived there.
So it's really cold?
Freezing. We found this really nice spot when we lived there. I think we might have even been moving from there, and we were up, headed to see maybe Glacier National Park, something like that. So we stopped at this bridge and saw this place where people were in there kind of paddling around, fishing, whatever. And boy, we were not prepared for that. It was freezing because it's all mountain runoff, so it's absolutely frigid water.
So you're only wearing like swim trunks, right? You're not in like a wetsuit or anything like that.
This is when we were living there, moving out. So I think we were actually in jeans and something rolled up.
Oh, you're in like the hick bathing suit.
That's a different time than the summer church camp thing going on. So we go to this camp, and at that point it's a full deal. There's a whole bunch of kids from different churches there. It's a fully functional church camp. It's during the summer, and we're one of the we got to perform 2 different nights, something like that. And there's a lot of different acts. We had a blast. Don't get me wrong, really fun church camp. But there's a gorgeous river that runs down through this place. And there's a section where you can walk up the bank a ways and you can tube down and then get out. And that's what you do. It's like a water slide, but natural. It's fun. There's rapids. It's cold, but when you're doing it that short stretch, you can get out, warm up in the sun enough.
Sure.
Get back and go. Well, me and my brother Dustin and my brother Josh and this kid named Tate, who I was friends with back in, second and first grade.
Eons ago.
Yeah, when we lived there, which at that point is not long ago. It's only been like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, 6th grade, definitely.
Are you still in touch with Tate?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Right.
No, you kidding me? No. I've talked to those people probably since that trip.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But we, they tell us, they're like, well, there's some more rapids. Y'all can float. They were like, if you want to, if you're willing, like you can have a longer float and go down and stop at this bridge.
That just doesn't sound like a good idea to me.
And we'll pick you up at this bridge for those of you that want to do this longer float. And of course, me and my brother Josh were like, yeah. I'm like, hey, big bro's doing it. I'm doing it. This sounds fun. I go tubing. This water's cold, but it's gorgeous. There's like, canyon side mountains. I mean, it's beautiful scenery. Well, I'm in swim trunks and no shoes. Tate's in swim trunks and no shoes. I think Tate was maybe a year or so older than me. I don't think Dustin was wearing shoes. Pretty sure Josh was in flip-flops. What you'll find later in the story didn't count for nothing because they were gone quick. Well, they don't tell us, and they don't know that all this extra mountain runoff, I guess, from that year has caused a series of really strong rapids right at the bridge we're supposed to get out at. Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These strong rapids go for a minute. We can't get out. We can't stop. I'm too small. Tate's too small. Dustin and Josh know this. They know they could get out and maybe make it. But these are really strong rapids for a minute. So we're stuck in this river just holding on to tubes, like waiting for it to get calm enough that we can finally. So we finally have to jut left in this bend. And we're a ways away at this point. And the van was not even there when we got.
Oh
so
my
we
God.
don't know what happened.
And you are
with that
children.
Anyways, I don't know if we took too long and they waited, or we were too fast because the water was faster and they didn't know. They waited on us for a while. Apparently, is what they said.
That is no excuse. You
they
never
didn't
leave
know
children
we'd been
unattended like that.
So they waited long enough. That Josh and Dustin. So if I'm 6th grade, they're 16-year-olds. Yeah. Yeah, but we went further than expected, and we have to stash these tubes in a bend on the wrong side of the river.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
because the right side still got heavy rapids, but there's a rock split and there's a little pool over here and a shelf where we could stash these tubes. So that's what we do. We stash these tubes and then we prepare because Josh is going to have to take Tate on his back and Dustin's going to have to take me on his back because we're too short to make it across this, what is like waist deep on them. And they're 16, so they're kind of getting to their peak. They're physically fit. They're football players. They got all their strength. They've been working out all summer. But they got us on their backs, and I'm like, man, I hope these sleds pay off, jumping, doing.
This is just,
really.
I cannot believe that actual adults let this happen.
They stomp across what is, in my logical memory is about a 30-yard expanse across raging Indiana Jones style rapids. It's not that bad. It's probably 10-ish yards.
Okay.
Your
mind is exaggerating it right now.
Oh, yeah. No, as a kid, it just stretched on forever, especially because there's like a rock break. And once you pass that rock break, you either have to go across, you're not coming back because by the time you try and turn around, you're going to get swept off. And there's loose rocks and stuff. So, man, and at the time, I'm not really panicking because Josh and Dustin aren't panicking. So as long as they're not panicking, and I know now they're doing that to save us.
Yeah,
and really, in their heads, they're losing their minds. They're like, oh my God. Because I know they're both intelligent enough to look at the situation and be sitting there thinking, hey, this could go south real fucking quick.
No, I mean,
those rapids go for a minute. We're gone for a while with no tubes because they're banked over in this elbow over here. We're not getting to those again. There's no going back. Well, we get across. There's a slip or two, some scary moments for sure, and we get across, and we're greeted with just giant pasture of sawgrass.
What is sawgrass?
Sawgrass is that grass that has those real brittle, sharp offshoots. Like when you grab it and rub down it this way, it cuts you.
That shit will cut your hand.
Okay,
And it cuts yeah, whole field of sawgrass and 4 barefoot boys in swim trunks. That's what was walked through. Dustin ended up putting me on his back, but we're just marching through sawgrass. And of course, we're trying to at least try and relate it to some Bible stuff.
Gosh.
Trials here.
Like, hey man, maybe Joseph had to walk through some sawgrass in his moccasins.
I don't know. When they stole his robe, his coat of many colors. So we get across the sawgrass and we hit a dirt road that's pretty nicely maintained, which means some pretty thick gravel.
At this point, is your brother still carrying you?
Once we got to the dirt road, I got off his back and was hobbling.
I was about to say, I'd be like, hey man, you're able-bodied. You can.
No, you have to understand. In 6th grade, I still was a very tiny individual. Very tiny. And Dustin he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, so the rocks won't hurt your feet as bad because you're not weighing as much.
Yeah.
You should have seen him in the creek last weekend.
Oh, God. Yeah, I haven't gone barefoot in a while. That was terrible. Oh, man. I was like, yeah, I used to go barefoot all the time, take my boots off and go start walking. It was like, been a minute. These are soft feet now. Oh, my Lord. I was definitely being a little bitch about it. It hurt. It was like, man, fuck this. It's like, I got to toughen these bad boys up again. Jesus.
Having to bring you your
Creek
shoes.
walking. Yeah.
Hilarious.
No, couldn't do it. I had extra weight from all the rocks in my pocket.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you have to collect rocks.
So my question here is, they have you on their back, and you guys are scaling along like this river, and you're in places where you could potentially fall in and pretty much drown. Is that
no, the river's at our back.
Oh, so you're not scaling the river.
We get across the river.
Gotcha.
And then we get up the bank, and we're met with this field of sawgrass.
And at this point, are you you're on the wrong side of the river?
No, we've had to cross the rapids, remember? We banked the tubes on the wrong side of the river, and we had to do the piggyback thing to get across this rapid spot where we could have been swept away, and you're going for a minute. And I definitely knew at that age I was not big enough to swim through that. I mean, Dustin and Josh would have been lucky to swim through what was going down the river that way, because it got nasty, man. It was, at the time, we just thought it was a novel experience. And now in hindsight, I have not talked about it in a while. There should have been some terror involved. But we get back, and this is about a 2-mile stretch after we hit the dirt road. that we end up walking. We have a performance that night for church camp. And Josh, Dustin, and I both all three play some major roles and stuff that goes on.
Wait. What was this performance? I have to know.
It's
what
our
were
drama group. So we had a lot of different drama group, like skits to music and stuff similar to that. We filmed a whole video in Emmanuel Baptist Church.
I fully believe
we had a
that
videographer and everything, and we went up there and did all of our stuff for a video. And we sold merch at event. We were
Wow.
It was a pretty decently big deal.
So what were you doing? Like show tunes or something?
No. Oh no!
No, it really is.
No, Chloe, you're 100% correct.
It really
These
is.
are things that happen. This is a common deal. I mean, it was choreography to different church songs and stuff like that.
I have been Mary in a church program before.
Yeah, it was emotionally impactful.
No, I grew up religious. I just choose not to do that now.
Wait a minute.
Same.
You've been what?
Yeah, I have played Mary in a church program before. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's normal, I guess.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a Christmas cantata in Montana.
You're talking like a nativity scene or something?
I always wondered what the definition of that word was, but what it really means, it was a big.
I even sang a
big
Christmas song
production. It was like an hour and a half long. There was several different musical numbers. There was a nativity set scene. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it was. Let's see what cantata means. Are we Googling there, Adam? It's worth a Google.
Cantata, noun, a medium-length narrative piece of music for voices with instrumental accompaniment, typically with solos, chorus, and orchestra.
That sounds like a fancy way to say a little play musical thing.
Hey, you have to understand the size of the church in Great Falls we went to. This is a big church. No, these things were massive productions. It was ridiculous. Yeah. The Righteous Gemstones. Yeah, my dad can't stand that show because my parents pastor church. Dad was in corporate ministry for around a decade. He can't stand it because he said it's just too realistic. He was mad. He was like, if you only knew. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I've heard plenty of your stories there.
What is it you're talking about? What's Gemstones? Is it like a documentary or something?
The Righteous Gemstones. It has Danny McBride in it and John.
Oh,
Goodman.
so it's a movie.
No, it's a TV series.
What?
Is it HBO
Really?
Max? It's HBO
Okay.
Max. It's about a family that's in corporate ministry. And it's disgustingly accurate.
I
They have a
cannot
mega
even
church.
imagine.
Fake Joel Osteen types.
I would just be disgusted.
Dad was disgusted the whole time. He's sitting there going, man, it's disgusting because it's so true. It's the God for profit mentality stuff. That's what it is. Yeah, it's a very real deal.
It's just
Your story is
exploitation
just
of other
giving me
people's
Righteous
values for
Gemstones
your own
vibes.
financial gain.
Story. So we get back and mom's
They're like, why are you wet when you're about to go give some drama performance?
We were like, where were y'all? No one was at the bridge. I didn't say anything about the rabbits being too fast. We've been marching through sawgrass and gravel for 2
Holy
hours to
shit.
get here. Y'all want to bitch at us? You've lost your mind. And they're like, what? Yeah. Okay. Do you see the blue fingertips? We're freezing,
Oh
man.
my
It's
God.
cold. So that's arguably in my top 3 showers of all fucking time right there. And it was in the camp shower, but they had super, super hot water.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all of us are in there just
What are
steaming,
your
screaming
other
a little bit because the
top 3
extremities are,
showers?
you know.
Because I feel like
to
I
think
need
on
to at
that.
least make a cameo in one, or I'm gonna
I have
be
to think on
mad.
that.
At least
There's
a cameo.
You're probably in the list of 10 several times, but the other 2 of the top 3 are definitely you.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say something different.
You're also probably like 4 through
Really?
6.
I didn't know where he was going with that either.
Like, was it the first time we took a shower together? Whenever I just had like makeup running down my face, and you were just like, "I'm gonna get you a towel."
You look like the Joker in the fucking interrogation.
No, we had just met
scene.
each other like
know
10
how I got
hours
these
earlier.
scars?
Yeah. And I was like, "Fuck." Here we are.
So
months and
The
months, almost a
authenticity,
year
ladies.
later.
I
That's-
know.
Yeah, we are coming up on a year.
You know, the last time we recounted this story.
yeah,
we met
almost.
October 1st.
Yep.
And then made it official the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Yeah.
So October. Speaking of October, what's this year's Halloween costume going to be? Because last year, if I remember correctly, was Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, and it was
And
so
we
good.
nailed it. Look
It
for
was
these
so
photos on the
good.
social media page.
Oh, God,
'cause
they were so good.
God.
So have you guys
They
put
were
some
really
thought
good.
We
into
went
this
pretty
year's?
far. I went and bought a whole
Yeah.
ass brand new suit. Like, fuck a costume. I went and bought a new suit for that.
He
And
did,
it was-
yeah.
I even wore my pistol. I
Where
mean,
do you
it
get your
was
suits from
perfect.
again? You gotta.
Fazio's got to go see my boy Mohammed. The deals up there are ridiculous. I'm telling you.
This suit was
and where's
so
that? It's
hot.
off
I
of-
gotta go down to Southwest. That's
Southwest
why I
Little
went to
Rock?
Mohammed's because I can bring my gun in with me. It's
So anyway,
fantastic.
any thought into
Yeah,
this year's
so,
costume?
We've mulled some over.
Hades and Persephone's one. That one would be cool.
I'm a fan of that one.
I like that one a lot.
What other one did we have? You had another one.
Oh,
you liked that I saw.
Off of The Search for Atlantis.
Atlantis, the Lost Empire.
Yeah. The Search for Atlantis. The Lost City of Atlantis. Keita and the other dude.
Milo Thatch.
Milo.
Milo Thatch. I think I
Yeah.
could do a Milo Thatch.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put a poll up and let people suggest things.
Oh,
I don't know. That's gonna be
That's a good thought.
that. We could do.
Yeah.
We should do both.
Yeah,
We
because
all
you
get
will
a
probably go to
costume changes.
multiple
Yeah.
Halloween parties.
Well, yeah, it's last
Yeah.
year we went to 1 till 2, and it was her Halloween party with her her coworkers at the time.
They,
her
no, they're in
schoolmates.
my graduate program.
Yeah,
So Halloween.
and it was fun. Man,
Yeah.
we drank. You know, we smoked. It was a good time. We drank. We made our ancestors proud. But then around 2, I looked at her. I was like, ready to go to
Oh my
homeboy's house
God.
party. And
It was like when you walk in the
Okay.
door and you know those movies where it's like you're a teenager and you're going to the very first party that you've ever been to, and so you think it's just the coolest thing in the world. Like
'Cause-
all the lights are low, there's like red lights in the background, there's a whole but there's like bumping music, there's people like in these fire ass costumes, and it's
there's
just
people everywhere on the couches, in the living room, in the
and when we
bedrooms,
walk
in, the
in,
patio.
everyone just turns around and looks at us.
Well, I got really lucky because I told my mother I said, if we're doing Mr. and Mrs. Smith's, you know I have to borrow the Audi, or this costume just isn't really complete unless Dustin lets me borrow his minivan, and he's not going to let me do that on Halloween, and we're not doing the boxer outfit, so the minivan doesn't work. You know, we need something fly for these suits. So, because Autumn's in this gorgeous black dress that she had and made a new slit in that just really fit the bill for the costume. And when we're pulling up to this party that's got cars just everywhere all over the street, someone happens to be pulling out of the spot that is right in front of the sidewalk that leads to the front door, and I just whip right in. And at this point, pretty sure my tie's off, at least lowered, and I've got my pistol right in my waistband and the jacket unbuttoned, and I walk over and open the passenger door. and
Basically,
Autumn
he
gets
looks
out.
like everything.
Autumn gets out and she's just drop dead gorgeous getting out of this car. And we go up, we knock on the door, and the dude answers. He goes, "Y'all the right party?" And I said, "This is Clark's house. Yeah, like this is Clark's party, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I know this is Clark's house and Clark's party, but are y'all at the right party? Because y'all are dressed way too fucking nice to be at this damn party." And I was like, "Man," and at this point, my buddy comes around the corner and he's like, "Mac," and I'm like, "Clark, hey," and he's like, "Come on in." And they're like, "God damn, I guess you are at the right party. Okay, that's fine."
So somebody on Halloween, where people dress up, doing whatever, asks you, "Oh, you at the right party?"
You have
Like-
to understand the scene that this man just got. If he's looking out the window, an Audi pulls up, and I get out, and I've got a pistol on my waistband.
Do you think
and
that
Autumn's in a black dress, and we look way overdressed for any party. I mean,
That's a good point.
Do you think that he thought you were government agents?
Oh Lord, no, no, Lord,
Absolutely not.
no. I think he thought we took a right when we should have taken a
No,
left.
but
and ended up not in
eventually we had
Chenal
been
or some
inside
shit.
for a while, and then we went to walk outside to get some air, and we go outside, and this couple of ladies is like, are y'all married? We were like, no. And they're like, do you have babies?
We just met 30 days ago.
And we're like, no. And they're like, well, you should. And we're just like, this is the first like party that we've like been to together.
Yeah.
Like we haven't even been together for like a month yet. And it's,
Yeah.
So it was a
But
lot.
the difference in, because this is loud music. I'm pretty sure there was a couple dudes either watching soccer or playing FIFA when we walk in, but the couches.
Yeah.
And there's,
Yeah.
there's party favors and all kinds of things going on everywhere. There's beer pong. It's a mix of people. There was some did they have finger sandwiches and like Little Caesars or something? There was tons of food that had been brought.
There was food there?
But yeah.
Sounds like a good party.
Because when we went over there the next day to kick it
That's
with
right, because I left
Clark
my
for a little
jacket.
bit. Yeah, we
Because I
ate
always
some of
forget
those
something.
leftovers. They were great.
That's right. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. But so to finish off the accident story anyways, we get back, best shower, top 3 shower of my life, and then we get dressed and do this performance. But yeah, you gotta point it out, it's pretty much just gross negligence. I don't even know how that happened. But it was terrible.
No, honest
man.
to God,
it
like
was a
that's
terrible, terrible
a
time.
lot.
I was hurt feet.
I am a mandated reporter, and that. Oof.
Well, I think we're past statute of limitations of that child abuse.
So I actually had a very similar like parental moral thing going when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We used to live on Tampa Bay, over there in Clearwater, Florida, right on the bay. We used to live in an apartment complex, literally right
We
on the
need a
water.
Florida man button.
We do.
Florida man.
We do. But anyway, we go out on something, a kayak, I guess you call it. And we're out in the middle of the bay and we go out like late afternoon. And right when sundown comes, a fucking storm comes. And we're still out on the water.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And we were out on the fucking water and the storm's coming and we're just kind of going with it. And at this point, our parents are going, oh, fuck. They're out on the water. They fucking call the Coast Guard.
As any good concerned parent should when they
Yeah,
have a
I would
brain and
too,
see a
dude. I
storm
don't know
and the
what you're
kids are
mad
out there,
about,
bro.
but I do the
Come
same fucking
on.
thing for my kids.
I'd be calling the Navy.
Are you
too.
kidding me?
I'd be calling
I
the
paid a
DOD.
$10,000 bill to create these, like, put these children into this world. I'm calling the fucking Coast Guard.
You get your
back
money's
when-
worth.
back
That's
goddamn
when
it,
right, that's
Back when
right.
Adam was born, it was a lot cheaper. So
Yeah, come on, man. When you were born too, like she's talking about her kids. you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
we were out on the water. They call the Coast Guard, and there's a Coast Guard station right in Clearwater, so it wasn't as if they had to come in from hundreds of miles away. And they fucking apparently report back, hey, we didn't find anybody in the area that you're talking about. They're like, we didn't see any kayak, we didn't see any bodies, and that's how they described it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
No.
and so what happened?
Adam.
So
Oh,
what happened
man.
was the weather got a little iffy, and we fucking end
As
up
if it wasn't iffy before.
we end up getting to a shore where I guess there was a little grove above the wake of the water on the shore. So we pull. Honestly, yeah, it kind of was like the shit on the water was weird. It was a weird tree. Anyway, a lot of skinny branches. We pull the kayak up into the tree. Right, we pull the kayak up into the tree, and we're up in the tree for like 2 hours while this storm is going on, and we actually see like the Coast Guard helicopters going overhead, and we were like, "That's for us."
Swiss Family Robinson
Adam,
Crusoe,
the fact that you are
we're
here
just
right
gonna
now.
brace ourselves in these trees and tide over the storm, mate.
Yep, I was
Adam ain't scared of shit.
I was with my
guys.
buddy Josh,
Use
and
the kayak as a windbreak. We'll be all right. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're scared as shit, but you use humor to kind of calm yourself down.
Well,
I'm
you
sure you
have
guys in
to.
the
So
So
psychological
you're like
world, is there a word
looking.
for that?
You're like looking at
Yeah, we
these.
call it a defense mechanism.
Yeah, yeah. But you're like looking at these helicopters, and you're like, these dumb bitches. Like these dumb. They can't even do their
Can't
fucking
even-
job.
They can't even find a couple kids in a storm. What are they doing? Meanwhile, Adam's over here with a lean-to made of a kayak, grilling a chicken he just speared on a mangrove stem.
Well, at that point, it would have been like a stingray or something. But we're watching these helicopters and we're like, man, I bet they're looking for us. And we were just debating how much in trouble we were going to be when we got home, because we're like 14, 15 at this time. And it was quite the opposite. We get home and the mood around the house was just, they were one step from calling like ABC News to come out and do a fucking news story about 2 kids lost in the fucking ocean. And really that set the mood around the house.
Buddy, they had the Coast Guard out for you.
Yeah. By the way,
fuck yeah. Are you kidding me?
They were already
Therapy for everyone.
The Coast Guard doesn't just go out all willy-nilly, okay?
when you go out that far and be like, oh my God, I'm in deep shit. When you go far enough where they think you might be dead, you are off scot-free every goddamn time. You know what I mean? It's like they can't be mad at you
because
they
trauma.
Pretty much because they're like,
the message. If you're gonna fuck up, make sure you almost die.
Exactly. That's how we did it back
at that
home.
point, like it's beyond reasonable
He said
means.
that's the Florida man way.
That's the Florida man way. Because like, hey, I've been
gonna fuck up.
No, if
do
you're
it
gonna
big.
fuck up, make it to where they're worried about you, and then they'll feel guilty for like punishing you or being
That
mad at
kind
you.
of sounds a little bit like gaslighting.
Just a little bit. Just
Hey, when you're 14 and 15 and don't want to be grounded or get an ass whooping, like you
It's like,
you
hey,
No, but you didn't
get
need-
gaslit.
but
But
I
you
swear
didn't
to God,
need
if I
to
get
resort
grounded for
to
this, I'm gonna lose it.
gaslighting.
You're like,
could
hey, you
just,
got a gas mask? I will fucking
I'd be like,
inhale.
don't worry about it, mom and dad. I'm grounding myself. I just almost died in a kayak in the fucking water at 15. I'm not doing this today. I'm grounding
no.
me. I'm not going to school. Y'all can grab my assignments. I'm gonna just
Facts.
hole up in my room and try to appreciate life.
And you got to imagine how like disheveled we are. Like coming to the house, like we're both carrying
surviving a
this
2-hour
kayak
rainstorm.
and we're like drenched in fucking, head to toe because we're in like clothes because we were on the,
Well, I would hope so.
yeah.
In a nudist kayak tour
Yeah,
at 14
and,
and 15.
Well, we were in that tree for a while, man.
no.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. What was that?
it was a
So
joke.
we were in that tree for a while. God bless you.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, no, so anyway, you show up at the house, you're disheveled, and like you almost got to play it off. Like, I mean, we were cracking jokes in this tree, whatever, we were fine, but you got to play it off like you just had the worst experience in your fucking life. Like,
So what I'm hearing here is that you're good at putting off the panic and crisis situations. Because if you remember a little story on here about me being posted up against a wall with a gun, and Adam, I hear him in the background go, look at one of the other, old JW, and he goes, first time? I'm trying not to
It's-
laugh.
using
it's
you
defense
for-
mechanism,
I'm
man.
about to be in a shootout. I'm like, Adam, can we not, bro? Like, this is the wrong time to chuckle. My
You're-
aim's going to be off, okay? This is not
You're-
the time to laugh.
You're in an uncomfortable situation, and what do? You
And at
try to
that
bring a little
point,
humor into it?
separating
with it.
yourself from your ego is actually one of the
No,
most
I'm-
beneficial things that you can do for yourself, because you're not like, you're practicing diffusion there. You're not saying like, oh man, like I'm gonna fucking die here. You're just like, man, I'm here. I can do something. And you know
Living it.
what?
Hey.
If I'm going to be here, I might as well make the best of it that I can.
So my thought process, like when I said that, was like, because we had a lot of people around us, and I was like, man, maybe if I could ease the tension, because I know J Dub's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
If I could use
Kind
him
of
to ease the
stories.
tension about people around us, like,
And that's how I was with Coco.
Yeah.
Because I knew that if I could at least get her calmed down that way, and at the same time, if Tyler knew that me and Coco were safe at the same time,
Coco was freaking out.
he
You
would
were
have been
fine.
able to do well. Yeah, but knowing that both of us were safe, me especially, you were more able to do
especially,
your
of
well,
course.
duh. But like you were able to do your job better
Oh, well, that's, I
when you're
I
not
get
like
it,
fucking
man.
freaking out
I
about
get
people.
it.
Like
I'm
it's easier to do
always-
your job.
That's why I was always so calm with the bar in the middle of anything. Afterwards, I might, sit and smoke my cigarette and have to breathe a little bit. The adrenaline's pumping. You just you
got to come down a little bit.
de-escalate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when it's something up there and it almost happens, the moment someone calls me over to handle a situation, my body automatically responds, and it's telling me, oh, we're ready for it. So then when something doesn't happen and they just walk out peacefully, well, my body's still primed for this. So then I got to sit down for 30 minutes and just be smoking cigarettes going, I'm fine. I'm good. There's no more crisis.
That's
Body,
why we
calm
end up going to the
down,
Cowboy
bro.
so much on nights like that, because you can't just go home and like
Hell
just
no.
lay down with that. Like you have to go and be able
My
to
fight, flight, or
exercise some of
freeze
that
is
out.
definitely on fight about 95% of the time.
Yeah.
It's on flight when it comes to survival if you can, but sometimes you just, most of the time that's not the option.
Okay, so I want to know about Chloe's accident. Do you have an accident story?
Any kind of accident.
Any kind of accident?
Car
there's-
accident.
there's another one we
Accident,
could tell
relationship
about.
accident.
Autumn's accidental resetting of her phone when she got her
shit.
screen fixed, and
Oh shit.
that we almost ended the relationship before. It
Oh
went
my
bad,
God.
went bad, man.
Okay,
And it was
Chloe
completely-
first.
No, you started it. We need to hear the end of the story now.
Okay, so Tyler was really, really honest in the beginning of talking, and he was like, I'm not one of those
I
like,
thought the first time was the kidney stones.
well, yeah, I'm gonna briefly touch over
Okay,
that, but that
okay.
wasn't like a big problem.
Like, it was a big problem for me.
Yeah, of course it
kidney
was. Of
stones.
course it was. So, but he was like, like I'm not like a big triple texter. Like sometimes I just drop off the face of the
Survey
planet.
showed that was a lie.
It
with
was
her.
a lie. But he like forewarned me. He was like, sometimes I just like drop off the face of the planet, don't use my phone for a while, yada yada. So the first time that he didn't text me for almost a day, I was like getting a little worried, but he had a kidney stone, and then he texted me, and I mean everything is fine.
It's like, hey, sorry, I've been dying for the past day and
Hell,
a half.
yeah.
Because
And then I
wouldn't
literally
go to the
went
hospital.
and,
I have
like-
insurance. So
Yeah. I
I
literally
found
went
something
and-
out about kidney stones. Very random.
Yeah.
If you take Viagra, you'll be able to pass a kidney stone.
you won't be.
You will be able to.
Oh, I passed it.
They'll prescribe Viagra to women to help them pass.
I
their
passed it
kidney
in
stones.
Khalil's bathroom.
Oh my
Interesting.
fucking God.
Yeah, I pinged that bitch off in the toilet. I heard it
Yeah.
thump. It was about
Did you keep
Yeah.
it?
no, it was in the toilet. It was in the toilet.
Oh.
It was like half the size of my pinky nail and half. Looks like about a quarter of my pinky nail. And it was man, it was the worst pain.
I
Oh my
bet.
God.
I bet.
Bro, stop. You're giving me anxiety. Please
Yeah,
don't.
we're terrible.
Okay. So
terrible.
moving past.
Drink your water.
Yeah,
So
moving past that.
after that, so it was a couple weeks later, and my phone had been like jacking up.
Cracked up.
Yeah, did I drop it and then I got it fixed? Yes.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was- yeah,
so
it was
I
a
haven't had a
cracked
phone
screen
case on my
situation.
phone in a long time. But anyway, so I take it to the phone repair shop, whatever, they repair it. But I tried to text Tyler like several times back and forth, and I didn't hear anything back. So I wasn't super worried about it because I was like, whatever, like he's at work, I'm doing this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was posting stuff on Facebook, and then like Tyler was posting stuff on Facebook. So I was like, whatever.
Pretty sure I was liking your
Like,
post too.
Yeah. So he was liking my post. Like I was like it wasn't like anything weird was going on, but at the same time, he just wasn't texting me back. And I was like, this is fucking weird. So I'm
Let's-
telling
Yep.
I'm telling my friends about this. So like my best friend from high school, Micah, and then my cousin, Mary Catherine. So I'm telling both of them about this, and I'm like, okay, I'm not like just making shit up, right? Like this is a little weird. Do we think it's a little weird? Because I really don't like think that he was being weird. So like just what your brain does. And they're like, no, babe, this is definitely a little weird. Like maybe you should just try to like call him or reach out or whatever. And I was like, no, I don't want to seem that desperate. And at the same time,
Well, that period of my life, my reputation was not the greatest either. So, I mean, I'm a good, honest person, but as far as my reputation, I was
treading carefully.
I was very honest about my reputation, and it was pretty. Yeah, I had fun, man. That was.
but I don't feel like that played
But
into
no, not
this
at all,
scenario.
but I think at least part of your mind is thinking, "Oh my God, he really is a fuckboy. He just screwed me over. This makes no sense. What the hell?"
Oh no, absolutely. I was trying to
Yeah.
actively push that thought out of my head.
Yeah. Which I get it. Like I said, reputation wasn't that great. But meanwhile, during all this, I'm panicking because I'm fucking texting her. I'm trying. Look, in my head, I am counting down minutes to make it not seem creepy when I send the next message. I kid you not. I'm going, all right.
You're like, I'm gonna wait until 12:34.
Yes.
And I'm going to do it on the 4 so it's not weird on the 0.
If I respond every 5 minutes,
so then-
it looks weird. But if I wait for those odd numbers, a 7, a 9,
So then,
and I'm getting nothing.
listen.
And
Here's
in my
where it
head,
gets weird.
And she's liking my post, I'm liking hers, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? And I'm getting nothing back. And I'm doing that panic mode where I'm like, I finally fucking liked a girl. Finally liked her. And I'm getting fucked over for it. This is the whole reason I've been single. Fuck this.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
done.
and I had also been talking to this other
why
guy. I'd also been talking to this other guy that like
Look at that face.
What?
I didn't know. I'd have known this. I haven't heard this version. So
Oh,
please.
no. I was also talking to this other guy. So I've been talking to this bartender where I worked at for a while, and he was older, and like we just like spent a lot. Well, I mean, like we were good friends. And so I was talking to him at the same time that I met, or before I met Tyler. But then when I met Tyler, so both my friend and my cousin were like, you need to stop fucking around with that Tyler dude. Like, he's obviously like, you're just doing this for fun. Like, what's wrong with you? Why you're going to mess like this other thing up over here? And I was just like, no, like, I'm just going to do this. This is just kind of what I'm going to do. So I had been doing that.
Very fun. I hope they know that. It's still a blast. She's still doing it for fun.
Yeah, it is still for fun.
Yeah. Fuck yes.
So I have a question here, and this is probably right up both y'all's alley, being in the psychology world of things.
Yeah.
So how people do that when they first meet and before they like get together, they play that like psychological mind game with each other. Now, is there a psychological explanation of why people do that? Is it anxiety? Is it like
another defense mechanism?
Like
Called
why
shame. Just shame.
So is it like shame for like wanting to go for something that you want?
So
you try to
comes
pull back a little
from
bit?
The sense of your expectations or society's expectations. So sometimes it could be like, society expects me to meet a girl, find a girl, like a girl, do all these things, and I somehow can't do that. And then you feel bad, and then every time you try, you feel like shit because it doesn't work out. So shame is this like behind the scenes thing where you're like thinking all the things that you should be doing, or somebody else is giving you those expectations.
And then that becomes a pattern whenever you do it over and over and over again in every sort of relationship initiation that you have. And because of that, you start to expect that the other person is going to react in that way. So you're more likely to start to defend yourself because it hasn't worked out in the past.
Well, and that's why I kept women so offhanded during that time period of my life, because I didn't want nobody getting close. I'm going to get her again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, coming off a marriage, dude. I was the same way, man.
no.
Yeah,
I was on
the
an
same-
antidepressant for a year and a
time,
half
not a
after
long
my
time.
divorce because I just didn't want to fucking feel any feelings at all. Like, that's just not what you want to do.
Speaking of that, not to get too personal here, but like being on antidepressants, like that helped me a lot.
Oh,
Like,
I just
when it
started
was like-
one recently.
Oh,
and
no,
it's
no, no.
wonderful.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, no.
So like fresh off of being in a marriage, like, yeah, you're going to want to like, shop around, look at the menu, order off the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Those antidepressants, they make you go like even above and beyond. So at that point, it was like every chick, you know what I'm talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't use antidepressants. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
because I'm curious because a huge side effect of antidepressants is erectile dysfunction.
No, the opposite.
That's cool. No, it's like
Which-
for real
It's
though.
Okay,
Studied.
which
For him
antidepressant?
personally,
No,
the
it-
opposite happened.
No, I want to know
No.
which
I know,
one
that's
though
so
because this
cool.
is interesting.
So all of my partners that I got with wouldn't leave me alone because it was suppressing finishing. So it was like every chick I hooked up with, it was like
They make
45
you
minutes,
finish.
and they
That's a
were like,
personal
"Hey,
slight. It's
yeah,
a personal. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
No, that's. I mean, I wasn't on antidepressants. I just, God, there's no way.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like, I
There's-
was getting a 4 to
No,
1
that's
ratio
a
on finishing. You know what I
good
mean? Like,
point.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to say this without sounding like a brag. I am good at fucking, so that's never been a problem for me. And I get what you're saying that they help. And
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
I
I mean,
don't need a dick
compared
pill, but
to-
they're fun every now and then.
yeah, well, no, compared to like
man.
my normal at
But
the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
but for me, it's easier when you don't care about a woman It's easier for me to just hold off and not nut. Like,
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
There has to.
Man, that's just playtime. That's, I'll do what I want. This is all about us getting what we want out of this. And there's no.
Well, and when there's open communication, which is what a lot of people are not able to do.
Emotional connection. And I can stay as long as I want because I really don't give a fuck about you, so it doesn't matter to me.
But I mean, that's why like things with us like worked out so quickly was because I mean, other than like the physical front, we just were like both of us were very comfortable being out of long-term relationships and not wanting to get into another long-term relationship. So I felt like we trusted each other to do more with each other, knowing that our mutual goal was not to end up together.
Yeah.
It like lowered the stakes.
Yeah. So I end up getting a message.
No. Okay. Back up because there was a big emotional turmoil for me in between this. So it's this night.
Oh, we're going back to
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you remembered.
Okay, so
gotta let her
I go to bed
finish.
that night and I literally Tyler, I don't know if you know this. I like cried myself to sleep that night.
Hey, I sat on mom and dad's
I
porch drinking
cried
whiskey
myself
until
to sleep
like
that
3 or 4 a.m. I was not in a good state.
I was like, why does he not want me anymore? Like, what did I
was giving
do?
up all over again. I was giving up all over again.
It was ridiculous. And I was
got
literally
left from my ends
I was Snapchatting at my friends and my cousins like, I cannot believe like this piece of shit. Like, why would Okay, so what I said.
People I could reach out to about this. So I was just either on the porch or sitting in bed going.
So
She'll
listen.
text. I know
So
she'll text.
listen.
I should
We
message
go
her
to
on
bed.
Facebook. No, I'm not messaging her on Facebook. She's ignoring me. Why should
Exactly.
I message her?
And that was
I
my
shouldn't
thing
message her.
too.
But imagine if none of you did any of this, none of this shit would have.
No, just listen. It
Hear
gets
how it got
Listen,
rectified.
it does. It ends. So
Well,
before I
obviously
go to
we're
bed, I Snapchat them, my friends and my cousin both, and I'm like, okay, if he shares something on Facebook tomorrow before he messages me, that's when I'm gonna lose my shit. Like that was the imaginary line that I set for myself.
Because at that point, he has his phone.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I'm tracking, and they're like,
that line.
so they're like, I really.
She's like, I'm drawing it right here.
They're like, I'm
Right here is that
really
line.
thinking that you should try to use another method to reach out. I'm like, no, because I have a problem of trying too hard with people. So I'm not going to do that. So anyway, I wake up the next morning. It's like a Saturday. I get up. I tell myself I'm going to have a good day. I make the kids breakfast. I make myself coffee. I sit down on the couch. I take 2 drinks of my coffee and I'm sending a text message to my cousin and everybody saying that I'm awake. And that I'm really hopeful that he's going to text me. And fucking 30 seconds later, there's this meme from Tyler on my news feed. And I just start like hyperventilating.
This motherfucker.
So anyway, I'm like, this is it. I'm done. I'm never going to be in a relationship. I'm just going to be in my career and I'm just going to do research all the time. And I'm just going to be like, honest to God, dude, this is my thought process. So
Hey, I was finally going to start my OnlyFans like I intended. I was done.
So
I was
meanwhile,
like, you know what? I'm going back to do this. I'm doing my OnlyFans. I don't even care.
So
Fuck
Mike and Mary
relationships.
Catherine
I'm definitely
both-
never-
I did not know. We're texting each other on the side going, this bitch needs to like calm down. So they figure out that one of them needs to message Tyler and just make him aware of the situation at hand. And so my cousin texts him and goes,
It was Mary Catherine, right?
yes, texts him and goes like, hey, Autumn thinks that you're like ignoring her.
Do you want me to read it
Yeah,
verbatim?
yeah.
Hey, I know you don't know me. I'm Autumn's cousin, MK. She's really upset right now and hasn't heard from you. I'm just checking in to make sure you're okay. Sorry to bother. By the way, please don't mention this.
Yeah, because I told him I would fucking murder them, which I have not done. They are both alive and well.
No, because I eventually told him, I was like, I'm going to mention this, right?
So
I'm
then
sorry. I'm going to tell her.
So then he Facebook messages me.
Well, I messaged back
Thank God.
to Mary Catherine and said, I've been over here tripping out because I haven't heard from her and her phone went straight to voicemail when I tried to call today.
So long story short, here's what happened.
Here's the old screenshot of all the messages. I mean, memes.
We
I've been trying to
both
send her.
provided like receipts that we had been trying to contact each other. Whenever I had gotten my phone screen replaced. Something happened to where I could only send like
So,
iMessages
I have
and
an
receive
Android.
iMessages.
That happened to me.
No.
That happened to me when I got my first iPhone.
Really?
No, for real.
Because I Googled it and I could not, and I couldn't
No,
figure out what it is.
It's different. It's something they messed up. So like my SIM card wasn't set up correctly, so I wasn't actually using my SIM card. I was always using
All
Wi-Fi.
right, I don't know some technical shit.
So would you say at this point it's better to have an Android
Shut up.
than an iPhone?
I would not actually. I think it's better to have an open communication, Adam.
Yeah, I don't know.
Moral of the story.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Imagine if
That, how smart of
they
you.
both would have just messaged each other on Facebook.
Well, yeah, that's what
Fucking imagine.
Because she's like, I come on too strong. And I was like, man, she's been ignoring me. Fuck this. I'm not messaging her.
No, listen, that's why every time since then I was like, okay, if I over communicate, like whatever. And he goes, there's no such thing as over communication. Anything that you want to say to me or things that you feel like need to be said and need to be discussed. So we just talk about everything now, even if, you know,
All
it
the
seems to,
time.
yeah.
Even when it's uncomfortable.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's what's
You
important.
have to.
If you don't, it's weird.
Well, and
More
you
weird
also,
not to talk about it.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to pick a person you can share everything with. And that I was actually listening to Alice 107.7, their evening show, right? Not their morning show with Heather and Pool Boy, but their evening show. I can't remember. And I think they're a couple or they act as a couple, whatever. Maybe they're not. But that's kind of the insinuation I got. That's the first time I've listened to them. I think it was going out to get toilet paper maybe the other night.
specific.
Yeah. Well, she was, we get back to the house. She goes, we're out of toilet paper.
Oh,
Can you
it
go
was
get
great.
some?
You
And
were
I said,
amazing.
yes, let me run get some before I get comfortable on this couch.
yeah.
So
That's
But they
before
were
he went to bed
asking-
at 7 o'clock.
they were asking, no, that was the night before that.
Oh.
They were asking on the radio, they said, we've got this situation where a best friend told her best friend this situation. And that best friend told her significant other. Okay.
The
And
best
they
friend told the
said
best friend significant other?
The
or?
the best friend told the best friend. That best friend that got told had a boyfriend. And that best friend told her boyfriend, her significant other,
Okay.
husband, whatever.
Okay.
So they said, who's in the wrong? The best friend that told the best friend. And I'm my immediate thought, I was, man, if you tell me something, go ahead and assume that Autumn's going to know it too.
Yeah.
It will stay between us, but they were arguing back and forth about, is it healthy? And some girl was like, well, you have to tell them you can't tell anybody. And that means they don't tell their SO. Otherwise, it's okay. And I'm sitting there
No.
thinking, man, y'all are crazy.
No.
Significant
You tell me
other.
I
something.
wake up,
Yeah.
fall asleep, eat in the
No.
morning, get gas, like
If you tell me
take baths
something,
with, do hobbies
understand.
with, go to from.
Yeah.
Like I do all of those things with him. Like
Yeah.
there's no way that something that
I mean, you're
important is not
telling
going
your
to come
fuck
up.
buddy. You're not
If
telling
somebody
your
told
friends
me
with
do
benefits.
not tell my significant other if they specified
Oh,
that,
I'm
he's
Exactly.
Now you're doing it out of spite.
no,
calling-
I'm not fucking doing
I'm
it.
texting them right then.
What?
No, if it's not important to him and if it's not something we both
Well-
need to know, and they say keep it to your fucking self,
Okay.
and it's not going to hurt them and
Well,
danger them, I'm keeping
I
it to
think
my
that
fucking
that
self.
number one, I think that depends on the relationship that you're in. Because Tyler and I share a lot of the same social circles. And
true.
we also know, though, some of the things it's like a confidentiality thing. Like, he knows
Man, I've been a
about the
bouncer.
majority of conversations
about
that
to
I
say.
have, but he doesn't know like the details. Like, if
Yeah.
something's
Yeah.
going
It's
on
gotta
and
be
he
apprised
needs
of
to
the
know, like,
situation.
Yeah.
we have to be on the same page because there is never going to be a time where somebody's going to be able to say, hey, you guys were not on a team together in this.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I've been Switzerland at the bar for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I know everybody's bullshit because everybody wants to talk to the bouncer about shit. And I'm also very personable. So, of course, they talk to me.
But the good thing about us is that we are
But
both
they all
able.
know when they come up to me with their bullshit, they can vent. And I'm not offering an opinion either way because I'm Switzerland. I'm not going to tell who you were venting about anything.
But they're
I'm
also
not, when they come to me and vent, I'm not going to tell them that you vented to me, and we're not going to start that room. Y'all can both vent separate times, but if you want me to get in the middle of it, you're fucked. Because I'm
something
not.
though
is
that
not
other
worth my
people
time, drama, nothing.
understand when they come to us with things is that number one, yeah, Switzerland. But number two, like if we know that there's a problem, like we're gonna intervene, but we're not gonna like call people out or place blame or out people. Like if there's a situation that needs to be neutralized and we can do that without letting other people know that like we know shit that's going on, if we can just help people out just by being nice, like we do that.
There's a way of doing things.
Yeah. People know that we're good friends and that's why they feel comfortable sharing things with us. But that's also why they feel comfortable sharing things with both of us, because they know that we're like they can say things to both of us and we're gonna still like have their back both ways. Get a better response
if her and I discuss it and try and problem solve it together. I mean, it's a team
because we love all of y'all.
But I do understand the perspective of if
only if it's specified. Anything else, he knows it.
Well, it should also be things that could never.
I know her and her friends talk. I don't want to hear every detail about everything they talk about. That's understood. But she does, since they're her friends and I'm with her, she does at least keep me apprised of what's going on in general with her friends. She's, we remember so-and-so with a baby had this, da-da-da-da. So we
here's
were talking
the way
about this.
that I conceptualize my relationships is, like every relationship is a bubble, right? And some of these bubbles overlap. Some of them are bigger than others. Some of them are farther apart. If there is ever anything that comes to my attention, whether people tell me about it or I hear about it or it just pops up, if it is anywhere near the Tyler bubble zone, like if it could in any way touch that bubble, like he needs to know about that because I would want that too, even if something's going on and like nothing shady or whatever, but if it could possibly disrupt like the middle of like a Tuesday for me, just let me know.
You say that I've had so many wild Tuesdays at the bar.
No, it's just
me and Kayla, man. Somebody be like, "Oh, it's Tuesday, it's quiet." I'm let me tell you about Tuesdays, buddy. Yeah, most of the times we're quiet, and then next thing you know, I'm getting charges pressed on me.
Yeah,
it's his fault.
So backtrack into the significant other thing, right? Mm-hmm. So when somebody tells you something and says, "Don't tell anyone," right? Your natural thing is like, "Man, I want to tell everyone." Like deep down inside, you're like, "This is so juicy. Like I want to just whatever." But to prevent you from telling everyone, you just tell your significant other, and you're like, "Hey, now it's off your chest. You've repeated the information. Psychologically, you must have a fulfillment of like, you know what? Now I don't need to."
Well, humans are social creatures. Like if you're forced to, that's why therapy is so efficient, and that's why disputing your thoughts and talking about them and getting them out in the open is so beneficial, is because if you just keep things to yourself, you start to attribute that more to you. So then you might start to think, wow, I'm a really secretive person, or I don't share as much information with my spouse as I should, or maybe I'm not as connected with my significant other as I want to be. And if you're not able to separate yourselves from those thoughts and those things, then that's eventually just what you're going to become. And that's not good for relationships.
15 minutes till last call.